I have a 5x7 glittery, shiny Christmas scene card for you. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome back to my channel. I am using Spellbinders products. This is the Saint Nick dies. I'm also going to be using the Delivering Joy Sleigh dies. But let's put this cute Santa Claus together. I'm using some solid colored cardstock here. I am using Peppermint Smooth cardstock from scrapbook.com. That's where I got the red from. I'm going to be using the Neutrals Smooth cardstock, Joyful Smooth cardstock, Mixed Metallics glitter paper, and holographic mirror paper, all from scrapbook.com, to put these fun dies together. So I'm just going to show you the dies, and I've already die cut everything ahead of time, obviously, but I'm going to show you which dies die cut which pieces, because there is a lot of little pieces and parts. It does go together really easily. And it's super cute. There was 2 Santa hats. I chose the longer, taller Santa hat. We're going to glue on all the little white areas on his red Santa suit. I love this piece here. This just makes it so easy to line everything up. You're just going to line that piece up at the bottom and it just centers perfectly, so there is no guessing. Then we have his face here with his beard and mustache, and you have some eyebrows. Obviously, I die cut his beard from white cardstock. Now, I will say I adhered his nose first. Don't do that. I did that wrong. We need to adhere his mustache first. I just kind of wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, oh, let's get his little nose and cheeks on here. But you'll need to adhere his mustache first, and then his nose goes right on top of that. So I was able to lift that off and reattach it. Then I die cut a little piece of black cardstock to adhere behind his eyes. And then I can pop in his eyes, and then I will color those black again. I just needed a piece of cardstock behind it, so that way I had something to glue the eyes to. You could leave the eyes out and that with using the black cardstock, and that would work. Here's his cute little white eyebrows. And then I'm like, oh, I need to put his mustache on. Oh, wait a second. I used a micro pen to color his eyes in. And then I will glue his hat on top, and there is a little line on his head, so you know exactly where the hat lines up to, which is really, really nice. So this is when I realized I need to take his nose off, so thankfully the liquid glue hadn't dried yet. Worst case scenario, I just would have put the mustache on top and then die cut another nose. So make sure that's nice and even, and then we can pop his cute little nose in place. And then we can adhere his head to his body. So I just want to kind of look from the front and see how it looks lined up, and then I can see on the back where I need to add the adhesive. And basically the bottom part of his head is going to line up to the top of his jacket there. That's kind of what I figured, but I think there's a little bit of room for how tall you want your Santa. Then we have his belt that I've die cut from black cardstock. And I glued down that hand just a little bit, and I shouldn't have, so I needed to lift it up. And then I could slide his belt underneath, and there is a belt buckle that we will add a little bit later. And then I reattached that sleeve and then went, wait a minute, I have to slide his glove underneath. I just clearly wasn't thinking that through, but it all worked. So he has his little white gloves here. I'm going to tuck that in. So that hand is going to hold something, which we will tuck something in later. So also, I'm going to be showing for the background, because again, this is a scene card. Oh, here's his cute little boots. So this is a scene card, and I want to make it look snowy, nighttime. I like the glitter and the sparkle. I'm going to be using Distress Spritz with a stencil, so definitely hang on in the video for that, because this is a longer video, but it's totally worth it with all the fun little details that go into this card. So I'm going to glue his little boots together. There's 3 pieces for that. I know it's kind of hard to see because I have that black background, but you have a piece that goes on the top part of his boot, and then a piece that goes over his toe area of his boot. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue at the top there, and then I can just add my little Santa over the top. But his one boot fell off. And then with the Santa, you have, oh, here's this cute little belt buckle that I die cut from a gold mirror cardstock. That is from the holographic mirror paper from scrapbook.com. And then you have this little lantern that he can carry. I have die cut from gold mirror and gold glitter cardstock. So the glitter is more of a kind of a really yellowy gold. And I thought that would be really pretty and shimmery because it looks like a light is shining in your lantern. And then I did a gold mirror on top, and then we have a couple little pieces here. And then there's that little star that we are going to use on the Christmas tree that also comes with our Santa. I think he comes with our Santa. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that because I'm using two different die sets, and right now I don't remember, so ignore that. But I think he does come with the tree, but I could be wrong. Okay, so I'm going to do two trees. I have die cut from, I think I die cut from the Joyful cardstock pack, the green here, and you just layer them. And again, there's little embossed edges where you can see where the tree pieces line up to. So it just makes it so easy. You don't have to second guess. And then of course we have our brown stems. I die cut from that from the Neutrals smooth cardstock. Okay, now we have our sleigh. This is the Delivering Joy sleigh, and here's the little pieces. So you have that solid red piece there. Then you're going to take this die and insert it into the frame, and you're going to get that gold piece, this gold piece here that has all those little elements die cut out of it, and it's so pretty. So I wanted a gold sleigh because Santa was already so red. I didn't want to also make the sleigh just completely red. So it's going to have red in the background, red detail here at the top, and then the bottom piece will be a gold mirror as well. But I feel like that worked out nicely, and it was able to be separate from what Santa looked like. So let me just put this little piece here. And then you have the presents that come with the Delivering Joy sleigh. The Christmas tree does go with the Santa Claus, so I'm remembering that. We have this little tag here that says Noel. You're going to die cut that piece, put those two pieces together. Then we have our presents and our bows here. I die cut the presents from colorful cardstock from the Peppermint smooth cardstock. And then from the Mixed Metals glitter paper, I did a silver for the ribbon. And again, these presents, if you can see, have these little embossed areas where you can just line up this wrapping paper, this ribbon that goes across the presents. And you don't have to guess it. So it just fits all the different sizes, and you would just cut the excess off. Then at the top of the screen there are the little bows, which we will adhere a little bit later. I'm going to do that after I get all of my presents into place, because I wasn't quite sure how I was going to lay those out. So I didn't want to have the ribbon on the top until I knew what I was doing. But I'm just going to pop out those center pieces. But here are the three pieces that go together. But again, I will show you how that works. Super cute. I love it. So let me trim all the excess ribbon off of our presents here. But I like that fun little silver. It's shiny, glittery. Just adds a little something extra to our colorful presents that we've got here. So let's stick that aside. And then you get these dies as well, but I didn't use any of the leaves and flowers. Okay, let's start our background. This is a 5x7 white piece of cardstock. I'm using Lawn Fawn's Hillside stencils. I want some snowy hills in the background, just a little bit. So I'm going to use each one of the hill stencils, and I am using Tumbled Glass Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just lightly ink blending where the stencil and the paper meet. I'm not ink blending all the way down because I don't want it to be blue. I want it to still have some white. So we have 3 quick easy hills here, and what I like about these stencils, it's also a masking stencil because I'm going to be ink blending a night sky. So I can use that once my ink comes down to meet the snow, I can put that stencil in place. So I am starting with Uncharted Mariner. getting just some coverage over the background. And then I'm going to use chipped sapphire and then black soot. So the chipped sapphire, I'm going to come in around the edges and make that a little bit darker. I do leave a little area in the center that is a bit lighter than the rest. But you can see I'm getting a nice, good blend there. And then I'm going to come in with black soot. This is what's really going to give us the nighttime sky feel. I think it's so, so pretty. And then I'm just coming back in with my brush that had the blue on it and just kind of ink blending over. All right, I'm going to spray the back of my Starry Sky stencil from Lawn Fawn with Pixie Spray. I'm going to set that on my work surface for just a second, but I've sprayed it pretty heavily. I want to mask off the hills, my snowy hills here. I'm actually going to move this mask. I end up putting that Hillside mask on top of the Starry Night. I am using the Pixie Spray because I'm going to be using the Distress Spritz in, oh my gosh, what color is it? Fossilized Amber, because it looks very gold. So I want that Pixie Spray to adhere to my background. I don't want this lifting up at all. I'm pressing it down, making sure it has some good adhesion. I'm going to shake up my bottle of Distress Spritz really good, and I'm going to start just spraying the background. Not crazy heavy, but fairly heavy. And then I'm just going to tap a lot of the excess off of my stencil before I lift it off the background, because I don't want to have it drip or mess up. It turned out so good, you guys. I am so happy with this. I was hoping it was going to work because I'd already stenciled that whole background, and it totally worked. Wait till I peel this up. And let's take a look at it. It stenciled perfectly. Look at that background, and it's so shiny. And Distress Spritz dries so fast, so I love it. Okay, I am adding glue to Santa's little areas that I want to add some glitter to. So I'm going to use Distress Glitter, and I'm going to sprinkle that on because I want Santa to be glittery. I want the brim of his hat and his coat and his sleeves to stand out differently than like his gloves and his beard and mustache. So that's why I want to add some of this glitter. I'm going to tap off the excess, and once everything's dry, if you have some excess glitter on the coat, you can just wipe that off once all of your glue has dried so you don't accidentally bump that. So here's basically my layout. I like to lay things out a little bit before I start to adhere them. One of those trees that has the star on top, I want that in the sled. I just thought that'd be really a cute idea. So I'm going to adhere that to the sled and then adhere the sled to the background, like it's sitting on one of those little snowy hills. We have those big stars from, I believe that's from the St. Nick dies, and I die cut 3 of those from Gold Mirror cardstock. I just thought that would be a fun thing to add. But let's tuck in our presents in the sleigh here. So we did 4 presents, 3 are going to be in the sleigh, and Santa will be holding one of them. Now I will say I should have done the glitter with Santa after I glued him to the front of my cardstock, or way earlier so that way it had time to dry. I didn't mess anything up, but I had to think about it, and that was a bit of a problem. So here is that cute little ribbon. There's a little dot that goes on top, just kind of finishes off that ribbon, but then it just kind of curly cues out. It's so pretty. I love it. I think that's really fun. Then we have the second tree that I knew I wanted to use, and so I'm going to plant that here on the bottom left with some foam adhesive. Santa is also going to have foam adhesive, and we're going to add some more shimmery, shiny things to this. We're going to use some mica flakes on this background to give it more of that snowy, icy feel. We have our cute little Noel tag, and so Santa needs to be popped up, and this is part of why I should have waited to add the glitter and glue, because I have to add foam adhesive behind him, and I can't flip him over to add it. So not that it was a big deal, but had I forgot that he had glitter, I would have had to have flipped him over and smushed it everywhere, and it would have been awful. So he's going to hold this cute little present here. So you adhere the excess ribbon, the little loop, and then the one that has the 2 loops on top of it, and then you have your little dot that finishes off your little bow there. So let's add some foam adhesive behind our Santa Claus, and this is where I'm like, oh no, I can't turn him over. I can't lay him down. I mean, it worked, but still. I'm working harder, not smarter, essentially. So let's peel back that foam adhesive and add him to the front, to our front right of our card. Well, obviously to the front. I meant to say to the right of our card. Look at how cute this little scene is. And I didn't want him holding the lantern, but it is sitting down next to him. And we're going to give that a place to land when we add all of our mica flakes. I do like these big stars on the background. I just think they're extra fun. So I'm going to adhere those with some liquid glue. And then I will trim the excess things off that are hanging off the edge. So I'm going to add the glue where I think snow and ice is built up. So at the bottom of the trees, the sled, under Santa's feet, under the lantern, and then I'm going to come in with the mica flakes and just put that on there. And you can kind of gently press it down into the glue. And you know, this kind of liquid glue dries really, really fast. I'm also going to put some on the trees. And when you're sprinkling it on, it really looks like a hot mess. So you might have to move some of the sprinkles around, especially on the trees, because some of them are kind of bigger chunks. So you can just kind of fiddle with that and kind of clean that up a little bit, which is what I did. So more on that little tree in the sleigh. And I'm just kind of cleaning up the edges there, taking off a piece if it's way too big. Then we have that really fun background. I'm just taking a pink marker and coloring in his cheeks so he can have some rosy cheeks. And then I have a sentiment that says, "'Tis the season to be jolly." This is from Tailored Expressions. I already have these die cut and everything. So this is gold heat embossed. And I'm going to attach it there to the top. And look at our card. Isn't this just so fun? I love all the shimmer and shine. I think my favorite thing outside of the dies is that stenciled and Distress Spritzed background. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.